president of the Veteran Cycle Club, I thought I should have a genuine one rather than a replica. So I'm going to sell my replica this weekend with a bit of luck. Quite nicely made, a little on the heavy side, but rides very, very well.
What's up with your machine? It's not going to make the relay, or is it?
Well, we are hopeful we might get something sorted because it's cracked on that side there. There's a little pin and it's cracked around there. Quite a few other people have ridden the bike at various times, and I think probably what's happened is if you put a little bit too much weight on the pedals, you can't afford to stand on the pedals on these, and it's cracked. But we have a guy on the site who's apparently got access to welding kit, so we're quite hopeful that we'll get it sorted for the weekend.
Good, eh?
Brilliant. And that little siren thing?
You have to go along. Right, this is the wall through now. It's 1898. Oh.
Yeah, Brenda, let me give you a standing start. Brenda.
You have to get the pedal in the right place.
Something like this running today?
Well, they were notoriously unsuccessful. They stopped making them after 2 years.
Oh, right.
And we went back to making, they replaced the overhead valve engine with a side valve engine eventually because of the notorious unreliability of it. It sort of eats valves and just things.
And the interesting thing is, of course, the valve gear on this, the inlet valve is not driven by anything, it's just sucked by the piston. So as the piston comes down, it sucks a mixture in, you see, so there's nothing that actually works this other than suction from the piston. So it's a very inefficient sort of thing, but only the professor can make it work.
There's a minimum speed of about 12 miles an hour, which is about as slow as you want to go. Yeah. And that was the legal speed limit, 12 miles an hour.
Peterborough Vintage Cycle Club, so there must be about 50 members. I don't think they'll all be here, but
They won't all be here. And you're with
20.
Rex in the Southampton?
No, he's in Peterborough Vintage. Do we still live out there? That's why, yeah. A few years ago, we all lived in Peterborough.
So you have your own private little barbecue, you're not going to go
Well, rather than the queue, yeah. Oh, no, the queue's
We
gone.
didn't want to, make extra work for them, but anyway, we're just having a little snack, really. Yeah.
You don't trust their cooking,
Yeah.
I
No, that's it. Yeah.
You've seen John Whitfield. They've just gone out. Oh,
Sherry.
Cheers.
Astonishing good health, and here's to some have got beef, fine weather tomorrow.
With your splendid jumper?
Bristol.
Oh, Bristol. You look as if you're from France.
Bristol Hatfield. No, that's his brother.
Well, in that case, then I'm sorry. I'll put the Bristol hat on.
Well done.
Got some underpants to go with them.
So are you all from Bristol?
No, good grief, no fear.
We come from Potters Bar, Hertfordshire. We come from Derby.
We come from Rippsworth, Hertfordshire.
It's so greasy.
We should start with Colin because he's the farthest one north of England. From County Durham, I
Newcastle.
believe. Newcastle.
Yeah.
All the way from Newcastle.
And where are you from?
Bristol.
We're from Bristol. And
Rod and I,
Brian
Brian and Iris are from
Trowbridge Wilts. Trowbridge.
Yeah, Paul can start explaining all the bikes. Here, come on. This is All Days Matchless.
All Days and Onions.
All Days and Onions made it.
Motorcycle, 1913. This is a Singer tricycle, 1881. And this is a Humber Ordinary, 54-inch.
Seeing your local. No. It's a BSA&M, Birmingham Small Arm and Metals. It's 1879, and it was originally, what happened is when the big storm in, was it 1986?
Yeah.
It was in Roy Knight's garage in Brook Lane,
Yeah.
and a tree went through the garage and crushed the garage. And we were clearing out, and then Roy sold me that. He also sold me a penny farthing, which is in the tent as well.
Yeah.
So that's how I came by it, but that's where it originated. It was in Roxby's, what used to be Roxby's was the coach house or whatever it was in Warsash.
So do you think it's always been in Warsash? They had it from
I should think it's been probably from you, yeah.
Yes, oh right.
Yeah.
Golly.
and Crowborough.
Crowborough. We're a Crowborough.
Yeovil, Somerset.
Right.
Still dirty.
Oh, we.
We've come from Bedford.
Flitwick in actual fact. Flitwick.
Flitwick, or Flitwick, as you might call it.
So long drive.
Near
Was a long
Bedford,
drive.
yeah, 100 and, well, we've done about 130, but anybody who doesn't get lost probably do it about 115.
There's a gate
I brought my glass, my bottle, my steaks. I'm in bread to eat it out of. You don't need washing them. Us guys, we're bachelors.
Is that the trees are rustling, or the hinges on her gate, or Ernie's ghostly gold tops are rattling in their crate? They won't forget old Ernie.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers!
Shall we set it on fire now? That's not so bad, is it? Just like that.
There we go.
Look at that. We are illuminated.
It's like it's so greasy.
You got a really sooty wick with it. It might pick up in there. You need to get out and pick up.
It's just not moving. It's like it's so greasy.
That's good. Oh, you got it there. There you go. We'll let him warm up first.
Just restoring the record. They've been admiring yours.
Let him get warm up the glass, Ron.
Alan's going to be doing a roaring trading lamps, isn't he?
Yeah, we always
Takes a while for the wicks to stick up, so the older wicks, they don't cut
That was taking so long. How long is it?
normal ones.
Yeah, so we want to go on so we can see you coming along. So
Well, we're going to go turn right here and go straight down. There he goes, he's all right. I'm amazed it's still light. But a light it is.
Yeah, great ride.
Not too high. If you get them too high, you're going to break your glasses, you see.
Yeah.
I told you I should get the fence.
Where are they going? Where are we going? Where's they gone? Oh, they vanished. Everyone's vanished.
We can't go there.
Pull away.
It's a bloody fire run. Where they went on? I'm going to ride on this. Come on, Rick. Hurry up. Get your bike
Swap you something?
What have I got then?
I don't know.
You've got to get down on the
do vary, some of them.
Useless. I had a pocket full of change yesterday.
So have a little rummage for a minute for this lady.
You want it? The story about the fact it worked. Yes. The story about the lighting.
I lived just on the other side of the canal. Museum money, so.
1954, and this gear is 1950.
No, so I'm looking for a cameo, but that's not a cameo.
Well, it's quite, actually take it out and you can see.
It's not a face on it, is it?
No, it's quite heavy. It's sort of an old style. It's quite nice. You can put it on a chain or as a brooch.
Particularly interesting because of the detail on the top of the saddle, but it suffers from a classic problem here. A lot of them tend to break at this point, and so a lot of people are trying to find replacements for their saddles which are broken here. So it's called a Terry saddle, and there's got lots of coiled springs underneath to add comfort, and very often you see these on 1930s ladies' bikes. This is actually a gent's saddle. The difference between the ladies and the gents saddle is that the ladies' saddles tend to be broader at the back and shorter. Gents saddles tend to be much longer and narrower, more like this one or this one. If they're left wet and if they're not tensioned properly, then they can distort, and you can see this one has gone like that, so that would actually be quite uncomfortable to sit on for any length of time. Being rubber, it can be left out in all weathers and it won't lose its shape. It's got 3 very stout springs, which means that delivery boys can go over the cobbles and they won't get inconvenienced by that. They're £10 for the lot. I think it's a bargain. I've been asking £10 for a lot even when I had 16 for sale, but now £10 for a lot seems fair.
It's the original backbone and the forks, but it's had the wheels made. I don't know, but the hub's probably original shot blasted, this type of thing. Always had the rear wheel made and new tyring. But obviously it's probably over. Might be 2,000 or more. Yeah. Oh, a rideable machine, that's what fetches the money. If you have the very old ones, they're probably a lot cheaper because they're museum pieces. So it probably cost a lot to restore this to a rideable machine.
We're hoping to shift our last few bits and maybe start collecting a very few items of special value.
Have you driven central throttle pedal on an early motor? Where you throttle in the middle, the brake up here attached.
The old stock I've got, replaced it within 5 years.
At one time I used to think it was gay
He stayed many a day in the dark room, you know, 3 days a week, you know, for 50 years of my life virtually.
Sociable, which I've still got in my possession.
Have you? That's Lauren's game.
So I've got some good decals for and set them on, so next time you see the bike, it'll have a name on it.
Yeah.
See if it was
I collect lamps. I've got a new holophone, which this is, and but the nickel's been taken off and it's just brass like that, so just considering whether I'm going to buy this or not.
Is it expensive?
£125.
Quite expensive.
Lamps are.
Yeah.
The hub lamps for penny farthings go anything up to about 3,000.
Yeah, red and green.
Yeah.
That's red and green.
Yeah, but if it's a backlight, then the opposite way around.
And I've just bought my dear beloved a 1935 Rally loop frame, and it says on here sold for 299 guineas. I'll actually only paid £100 for it. So some mathematician has put that on, I think, just to pull my leg, you know. And this is difficult to find them like that. You know, 75 years or whatever, it survived, and it's absolutely original, which is how I like them. Not been messed about, not suffered restoration, as I call it.
You did no struggle. You're right.
If there is any problem at all, I'll give you full instructions with the crew. We do have life jackets, you'll be very pleased to know. 3. Got up.
Next weekend is photography.
You don't steer us, sir. It's almost enough for you. Thank you very much.
I'm Rod Safe, the Secretary of the Sewing Club, and together with the team we've organised this auction, and we hope that we're going to get rid of an awful lot of bikes. And I'm stood here between two Dursley pedestals. This one here is absolutely original. This is how we love to find them. It's still rusty and everything, but it's this barn fresh, we call it, and it's all everything's there, and it's a really good thing. And I think this probably would make £1,000. So hopefully in the auction we might well find that it goes to a new home. But you see here we've got one that somebody, the alternative, somebody has restored this one completely, and it's absolutely beautiful in every respect. New paint, new nickel and everything like that. And there might be somebody who's prepared to pay even more for all that work. It's very much a labour of love, because the amount of work that goes into doing this is not, it doesn't reflect the difference in price and value. So there's the Dursley pedestals. And this machine here is the Yellow Peril. This is very special to us because it belonged to Sue Roberty, who died a couple of years ago, and she left money to us, which is going to fund the barn dance tonight. We all disagreed with the colour of this, but she insisted she found some yellow paint underneath and had it restored to this garish colour. And old Sue's looking down at us now thinking, I wonder who the new owner is going to be. This is quite an interesting machine. It's the oldest item in the sale. It's a tricycle made by Baylor St Thomas. It's called the Excelsior. And it's interesting in as much as it has no chain. It's got a system of gears there. It was made in 1881, and we think it's its probably value is between £6,000 and £10,000, something like that. And hopefully it will go into a new ownership tonight. This is one of 4 real penny farthings entered in the auction. It's a 54-inch, and we think their value is about £1,500. So maybe 4 lucky people will be owners of new penny farthings after the sale. It's not only bicycles, there's all the accessories that we're all interested in. And here we have a very ornate lamp, an American searchlight of about 1896, 97, and compare it with a lamp like this, which is very plain, but in its own right is very good. These are very sought after. You can see they're tall, they're for ladies' bikes. And this is actually one for an army bike in the First World War, 1914. And for the ladies, some of our wives collect skirt clips, the Victorian skirt clips. They weren't purely cycling, but and this one is particularly unusual, and it's got a glove clip attached to it. And we think this will well make 3 figures in the sale.
I forgot what I talked about.
See that? That's the lady frame, as per the description in the catalogue. Just finished being sent through the post. What might it be? Somebody started. £5 somewhere, surely. £5 I have here, 5. At £5, I'm selling it for 5. Only 5. Lady, are you bidding? But there's a bid over here at 5, only. At £5. I'm selling it, all done then at 5. No further bidding, I'll take 6 from anybody. 6 anyway. No, but at £5 then it's yours. At £5 it's yours. 1/19 in size Shorter and Sons on the base, I suspect. There's the bid. Somebody started. £5 it's somewhere. £5 anyway. £1 then. 5 in 2 places. Can I take you at 6, sir? 6 he says. 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 in the back, come sell it. 32. I say that to you too, sir. 32. And 32. 35 has come back. 40 will. No, but 35, there's the bid. 40. 40. It's Harold Jones, and he knows a bargain when he sees it. 45 has come back. 45 here. 45. 50. 55. Thank you anyway. Thank you for bidding. 55. I'm selling, of course. 55. There's the bid then. All done then. 55 seating. 55 you out, but there's the bid at 55 here. All done at 55. Make no mistake then, selling for 55. 40. 50 bidding, sir? 120 then, through here then, all done at 120. Make no mistake at 120 only then, all done at 120. You're out. There's the bid then at 50, all done at 50. Make no mistake at 50. And again, somebody sell me £100 for it somewhere. 100 I have, 100. Selling it for 100, all done then at 110. The other bidding then, all done. Fair warning then at 250. Selling for 19, all done then at 19. £90 only then, all done then at 19. Any other bidding here at 19? No. You come back at 52. You're out?
No, I'll keep going.
Oh, you keep going. 55. Thank you, sir. 55. 58. 60. You're out? Got it. 60. All done then at 60. Well done. Mr. Pixie. There's other movement here. 35. Heaven's sakes, it'd be great on the kitchen wall. Just hang your pots and pans on. There's pots and everything. Well, it's 35, there's the bid. Doesn't seem like a lot, does it? 38. 38, against yourself. You in? No, you're shaking? No, no. 38 here. 38. Selling it for 38. Done it, 38. 55. Where are you selling yourself? 70, you say? Don't keep blowing the bloody thing. You'll be able to use that tonight or tomorrow. Okay. Oh, God. He's at 70. 71, he says, I'll take 2. 74.50. 75. Thank you very much. Good sport. 75. Give the man a clap. 75. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Standing there at 50 then, all done then at 50 then. Left 50 then. On my right at 50. Sorry, left at 50, all done then at 50. Thank you anyway, but there's a bid at 110. It's probably popular with 110. Done at 110. Selling for 110, of course. All done at 110. 500. At 500. At 500, I'm selling. Then for 500, it's you selling 500. 40. Against you. 340. No, but there's the bid then at 340. Done it at 340. So, thank you anyway. 850 through here. At 850. At 850. Well, you've done that at 850 then. She's away at 850. Yours at 850. Not expensive at 850. Yours, what he says. At 40 here. What are you going to do, Chuck? 40 here. At 40. Make no mistake. There's the bid at 40. 45. 50. 50 cents. Thank you anyway, but there's the bid at 50 then. All done it at 50. Sell it for 50. All done it at 50. Also the guy that you're not going to expect him to ride these, are you?
That's Dad holding the back one.
Oh, right. There's not family collusion here, is there? Yeah, it's all insider trading. 32 is your bid. Happy with that? With 32. 34 has come back. 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 110, 20, 30, 130. Happy with that, madam? 130. Here at 130, you're out, thank you. At 130, Dom took a long way to get there for £5. At 130, Dom at 130, yours madam at 130, Dom at 130. Going to be successful. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, his bid was £25. Let me absolutely true. I have the bid in the book here is £25. Is there anybody who wants a bid more? We ought to start really at 100. It's got to be 100, hasn't it? £100 for the frame, got it. Cheapest hitching frame I think. 100 I had already. 340 then, all done then. 340, 360 here, 360, 380. Thank you anyway, but there's the bid at 380. All done then at 380. Well done, sir, at £380. All done then at 380. Also 380. Done then, 1,750. All done then at 1,750. Yours. I know this is a British bike sale, but we have to have the old French bike. But it is a good machine, nevertheless. It looks great. I love those drop handlebars. It's wonderful. I have several bids in the book, ladies and gentlemen. As viewed, as appreciated earlier today, what am I bidding? Well, I already have a £750 bid. I can sell, of course. It's 750. She's away, 750. Okay? It's 1,500. All done then at 1,500. I'm selling there for 1,500. All done then at 1,500. Yours madam at 1,500. Quiet, please. Can I give you a history lesson, ladies and gentlemen? As interesting, as lovely as the lamp is, it does not belong to this bike. Acetylene gas has not been thought of when this lovely bicycle was built, but nevertheless the lamp does come with the machine. And what am I bidding? I already had it here with 1650. Sorry for pointing, there's a bid 1650, 70. Let's come back. I'll take another small one from you. We've all got all day. It's 1750. He's come back at 1750. 54 inch, of course. Lovely machine. Looks as if it's ready to ride. I don't know. It looks as if it is. And Nigel's written it. So, and it survived Nigel. So it survived anybody. Ladies and gentlemen, we already have a bid of £700 in the book. Here already at 750. Yours at 1150. All done at 1150. Yours at 1150. 1900. 1250. 1300. 1350. Thank you anyway, but there's the bid at 1350. All done then at 1350. yours at 1350, saying bye then at 1350, all done then at 1350, yours at 1350. There is a fabulous restoration, ladies and gentlemen, fabulous machine. One feels as if one could cycle to the south of France on that machine. Several bits bobs of bidding in the book, ladies and gentlemen, but I just started bidding at £2,000 and £2,000 with me at £2,000. Any advance at 2000, 2002, 2004, 3008 then. Glasses 3008 is yours for 3008. You all done at 3008. All done at 3008. Yours for 3008. And obviously invite the machine, a fabulous machine. Somebody started. What? £700? 700 I have, 700. With me then it's 700. Towards me I should say it's 700 I have, 700, 750, 800, new place, 850, 900, 950, 1,000, 1,100, 1,100, and 1,100. 1,100 here, it's on its way, 1,100, 1,200, and 1,200 here, middle of the room, 1,200. Are you bidding, sir? But there's 1,250, 1,300. Thank you anyway, but there's the bid, 1,300. We've done then, 1,300. Fair warning then at 1,300 then, we've done then at 1,300. It's yours, 1,366.
Now everybody can join in. Everybody turn to your partner. Dozy-do your partner. Pass right shoulders back to back. And then you all promenade around the circle. Stand side by side, hands crossed in front of you, same direction round the ring. And as you go, squeeze your partner's hands. You squeeze their hands as you sing this song. You sing, I want to be near you. You're the one, the one, the one. I want to be near you. You're the one for me. Oi! And don't forget the oi on the end. Oi! Everybody. Dozy go with your partners, promenade and sing. I want to be near you. You're the one, the one, the one. I want to be near you. Number twos, you separate. Go out around the ring. Reach your partners going out to meet them. Come in. Dozy go with your partners, promenade and sing. I want to be near you. You're the one, the one, the one.
That's 1913. In actual fact, once you get to kill it, it's a bit like
that oil.
well, you were last chapter.
I was attached to that.
Well, they took my brains out.
But we're 39.
Quite what the range of this is. If there's anyone up in the camping field with an ordinary, let that include you with your extraordinary. If you could fetch it down, please, we'd be more than welcome. Thanks. In the year 2001. This is in fact our third season. We are short.
How about no hands?
Standing up, Steve. Keep yourself very careful. No Go there, easy for us. Now, who wants to go? I don't know. Here we go.
Here they come, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for the Derby Chargers. 3-wheel now, gentlemen. 3-wheel side class. And that shows the magnificent 7. We'll call out our numbers in the time-honoured way. You had to leave like this. It's not like that. A name which was in use at the time and had connections, perhaps, such as George. In use at the time and had connections, perhaps, such as George. That I will at all times uphold the honour and traditions, various modifications. easy enough when you've got men like Jeff Hudson.
Now, did you actually construct this entirely?
He's got a lathe and all sorts of machines. The people who live down below don't quite appreciate his enthusiasm for such things.
Involved first and get the tools.
Yes, Bernard, that's the solid type safety. Those who weren't prepared to ride on high bicycle version, then what have we got next? And here comes Andy, another of our club circuit, said he can stop and talk to us. I tried to do the London to Brighton with him on a
Time that Keith Mitchell
sort of developed. Gets to over 30 miles an hour, but
now uphill. And if it comes to a steep hill, the passenger has to get off and walk. There's the bend. Now 5 years later, here's John with his old Oldsmobile. You can see he can go, he's got pneumatic tyres, goes like stink. And let's have John have a few...
look at that, isn't that fantastic?
Really ahead of the motorbike, but it's one of the early motorbikes. Tell us a bit about it.
Yes, this is not
5 years, but his restoration skills with motorbikes has got him going very, very quickly on bicycles. And he had a super tricycle out today. So you can... Right, next one.
Now, hang on. The big thing, the problem is you're not going to be able to reach the pedal. Who's got the longest legs?
I got long legs.
To take up the chain between those two. Then you've got a straight idler wheel here, and that's actually on the same shaft. Okay. So what you've got is conventional double clanger on the front. So demonstration. Here we go. Okay. Right. Change gear. Oh. Right. Now and. There we are.
Establishing an early lead. Radford, ex-world champion bone shaker rider. Let's see how he does on McMillan, but March well out in front. Can't get his leg over again. Pretty problem all his life, I'm told. Disqualified. Use the pedals. Bernadette Martin well in the lead now. Let's go. Fairly close. Bernard taking an early lead. Mark's coming up hard on the inside, and it's the handover will be all important. Who can get their leg over first? And Phil's got his leg over. March is hard behind, it's his neck and neck. Caught a crab, I think. Mark's taking the lead now. This is a close race. March handed over quite quickly, and March are away. And March are in the lead, but Solent have got it going again. March nearly there, straight line. March are going to make it nearly in the line. And it's a win for March. Well done, March Club.
This afternoon and for the previous days, the Southampton Video and Camera Club. They've been jumping out from corners all over us this weekend. We'd also like to thank all the veteran and vintage vehicle owners who turned up this afternoon, the Veteran Army cyclists, the Dandy Chargers, and all those who have entertained us throughout this afternoon. We need to thank the Hampshire Police for the use of their grounds during this morning's ride. And of course we need to thank the caterers and the staff of the park here for what they've helped us through over this weekend. Photographers, photographs from this morning from the chapel, they're available outside. Anyone who hasn't seen them, they're on display outside, £10, and I think just about everyone's in there. We need to thank the band at lunchtime, St John's Ambulance, thankfully they weren't needed today. But most of all we need to thank all the riders and clubs who've made journeys from all over the country for coming down and joining us this weekend. We hope you've enjoyed it all.
Yeah.
I think firstly we also need to thank ourselves. I looked in last night at the dancing, clearly it worked. The Hampshire rain dance kept the rain off today. Friday afternoon we sat there, the forecast was heavy rain all day. So whatever you did last night dancing obviously worked. In a few minutes later on we'll call you up and you can get your date bars in. Those who need the badges to hold the date bars, President Tony's got the bars here. Normally they would come down with the National Association Secretary. Stuart unfortunately is laid up with his back and can't be with us. I know he's disappointed. He sent his best wishes. Perhaps, Tony, you could take back our best wishes for a speedy recovery for him, because I know he's missed out on something he was looking forward to coming down to. We need to thank the judges today. Peter Card, Bill Haler, Joyce Rose, thank you for your efforts this morning. And Peter, thank you for your efforts yesterday afternoon again. Contributed to a splendid afternoon, but thank you to the judges. Before we get on to the results, two quick notices. There are on the corner table, those who haven't had them, there are details of the NAVCC Rally 2004, which is next year in Austria, from the 19th of May. If people would like a rally 3 or 4 days over in Austria next May, the details are on the corner of the table there, if people would like to collect them afterwards. A little bit of lost property, found on the field, a pair of dark sunglasses, red frame. If anyone's lost those today, they're here on the front table. And if we can move on to the presentation, before I call on the President, there is one that we need to give out. This is the championship trophy for the Bone Shaker racing this afternoon. I'd like to call on the representative from March to come and collect the cup they won this afternoon. And if I can ask now, introduce to you President of the National Association, Tony Pickering, will make the presentations for us. Thank you, Tony. That's his blood clot, I'm told. Right, if we can move on to the presentations, and again, many thanks to the judges this afternoon, in no particular order. We start with the Denton Trophy. This is awarded to a gentleman rider of a pneumatic type machine who completes the course on the day. Condition of the machine and appropriate costume to be considered by the judges. And the Denton Trophy goes to number 129. That's George Littlewood from the Gloucester Club.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah. Sorry. We did from the other side. All right. Do this one then. Yeah. We do from the other side.
Next is the Dunlop Trophy. This is awarded to a lady rider of a pneumatic type machine who completes the course. Condition of the machine and appropriate costume to be considered. This goes to number 150. Maureen Gooch, please. We move on now to the awards for the under-16 riders. We are always very pleased to see the young riders out, to be encouraged to take part in the ride. It's the future of the National Association. But the Rouse Juvenile Trophy that's awarded to the rider of under 16 years of age who has performed the most meritorious ride when completing the course, condition of cycle and appropriate costume to be considered. This goes to number 221. That's Lauren Arnold, please.
And that's your trophy, right? Okay, you get down the step.
And the Barrier Juvenile Trophy, which is awarded to the runner-up of the Rouse Trophy, based on the same conditions. This goes to number 86, keeping it in the family, Tony Arnold. Right, we move on to the Cooper Trophy. This is a family award for a family turnout consisting of parent or parents with children under 16. The group must comprise a minimum of 3 in the family. This is awarded to one of the numbers, number 36, Andrew Heaps, with Francis, Louis, Alice and Florence, please.
You're going to take it on their behalf. This way, the camera. This way, that's the camera we're looking at. Right. So, turn it down. And you keep that one. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Well done. Right, next we move on to the rear ordinary trophy awarded to an ordinary rider who must be the owner entrant of the machine. The judge's main consideration being originality combined with the condition of the machine. This is awarded to number 61, John Malsey, please.
That's the way we're going to look at the camera. All right. Stick it in the top. Stick it in the top. Thank you very much.
We move on to the Twycross Horse Trophy, awarded to the rider or riders who, in the judge's opinion, have restored their cycle to its original condition, with the riders in appropriate costume upon completion of the course. This goes to number 96, Colin and Margaret Bedford.
No need to tell me about it.
Trophy. This is awarded to the best maintained cycle of pre-1914 manufacture that completes the course. And this year that's been awarded number 141, Beryl Smith, please.
That goes in the top, alright, when you're pointing that way, so that... There we are. You got it? You're going to go loose top. There's a back in there. What do you think? Alright.
Right, now we have the Tom Young Shield. This is awarded to a rider in appropriate costume who completes the course riding a bone shaker. The judges have awarded this to number 8, Tony Pickering. And the last one, the Peterborough Vintage Cycle Shield, awarded for the most meritorious ride of the day. The judges have awarded this to number 4, Stephen Dowman. Thank you very much indeed. Tony, I think you'd like a few words.
Very few. Can I respectfully say to the Soul Club that this will be known as the Q Rally. In the nicest possible way, because it's so popular, the weather's right, what have you got? Queues and queues and queues. But it's been magnificent, hasn't it? Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for riding your oldest machines. What more can I say? I'm not going to say no more. To see the children. Mind blowing. What are you going out for? But no, thank you, Solent. The organisation is what makes any rally. It's been dished out all round. The Solent Club's got people strong in this, strong in that. It's all come together, and look at it. But it all depends on you guys turning up, riding them bikes, and him up there, which is all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks for that. If those who haven't yet given back their numbers, we need numbers for date bars in a minute. Before we do that, though, in Olympic fashion, Solent would like to say thank you and ask Jane Denton to come forward from the Peterborough Club, please.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for the weekend. But next year, please, come to Peterborough. not to Peterborough. We are not going to hold it at Peterborough. Having had an excellent event in June this year, we're going to take it a little further south to near Huntingdon, and it will be at the Wood Green Animal Centre, which is at Godmanchester. Now please don't let that put you off. You don't have to take an animal back with you if you can. Right. It's an excellent venue. It is geared up with conference centre and various things around the site, apart from the animals, which can prove quite a nice diversion. It will be a weekend event, obviously, from the Friday through to the Monday. Camping is on site, and we're arranging various entertainments. I don't know whether we'll be able to run to an auction or anything like this. It just depends on the number of people we've got to help organise. But do please come and join us next year, first weekend in September, September the 5th, the main day on the Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jane. Thank you all indeed once again for turning up. Remember, please, numbers back to collect your date bars. If you haven't got a badge, if you see Tony, $2.50 each for the badges. Correct money will be useful. Have a safe journey home. See you all next year in Peterborough. Thank you very much.